Hello everyone and welcome to Phenomenex video tip series. I am Lucia Estudiante, Senior Technical Specialist with the Global Technical Support Team. And today I will be answering the question how to improve my oligonucleotide conjugate recovery with Clarity XRO. Clarity XRO is our newly released next generation of Clarity kit. This is used to extract oligonucleotides and oligonucleotide conjugates from complex biological samples. The Pro version particularly addresses challenges that seen in day-to-day variability and the length in optimization time. The approach is quite simple. The biological samples are lysed using a specifically designed buffer that enhances the extraction of the oligo and inhibits any undesirable nuclease activity. Digestion with proteinase K is also included in the kit. SPE is then done, and in this case, the enrichment of the oligo is done with a weak ionic interaction. Now, how can we ensure the best recoveries? The first step is key and is the sample pretreatment, where we are going to be lysing the sample. So in general, what we do is we have a ratio of lysis loading buffer to sample. The starting conditions is a 3:1 ratio, but when working with more complex samples, we may see the higher ratios that are needed. Sometimes when working with siRNA, for example, a 1:1 ratio is actually optimal. So it's one of those points in which it is worth to try different conditions. Now, we also suggest incubating the samples for a short period, could be 5 to 15 minutes, in order to make sure that the lysis is happening. Antioxidants such as cysteine can be further added to the buffer if oxidation was an issue. When working with tissues, of course, homogenization of the tissue is very important. For that, ceramic bits can be used. And most especially in the Pro version, we have the Clarity Proteinase K kit that can help significantly digesting the proteins on the sample and helping extract the oligonucleotides from samples as complex as tissue. Now the next step is SP extraction. And during this extraction, we are going to go through several steps in which we should be paying attention to make sure that we get the best recoveries. The first thing is that working either with tubes or plates, you will have to condition the material and equilibrate it before loading your sample. So skipping this step can cause a reduction in recoveries. Then we will load our sample. And here the key is to make sure that your pretreated sample has a pH of around 5.5 in order to obtain the strongest binding possible to the solvent. Also, when you're loading your sample, especially in the small formats like 2 milligram plate, it's important to load the sample near the top frit and to use a slow flow in order to slowly pass the solution. This will ensure best recoveries, accuracy, and reproducibility. Now, after the sample has been loaded, we suggest doing 2 wash steps. In general, the first wash will be done with equilibration buffer, and then a stronger buffer that is called the wash buffer solution is used in order to further clean the sample. You may need to optimize the number of wash steps needed, and specifically for plate formats that are 25 milligrams or less, you will improve your recovery if you start with the vacuum that is low, so the solution passes slowly through the tube, and then you can increase the vacuum in order to remove completely the wash solution. At last, the oligonucleotides are eluted, and in this case we are using a newly designed elution buffer. This is MS compatible, so it can be simply diluted in a 1:1 ratio with water and be directly injected. Of course, when lower detection limits are needed, you could dry the sample using, for example, a lyophilizer, making sure that you don't dry it to completeness because it can be quite difficult to reconstitute. And if recoveries are not what you were expecting, you could consider do an elution step twice, or increase the content of organic in the elution solvent in order to achieve a stronger elution. Thank you for joining us on today's video tip, and be sure to check out our new chromatography tips next month. And if you need any help right away, please come visit us to phenomenex.com and look for our live chat. We are there at technical experts 24/7 ready to assist you. Thank you so much and see you next month.